Special Agent with Homeland Security Investigations, okay, guys? HSI.
This is what Fed Reacts covers.
Defender Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony. So here's what 6ix9ine actually got. Racketeer conspiracy. This attack shifted the whole U.S. government. This guy got arrested for espionage, okay? Trading secrets with the Russian John Wayne Gacy, a.k.a. the Killer Clown, okay? One of the most prolific serial killers of all time, killed 33 people. Zodiac Killer is a pseudonym of an unidentified serial killer who operated in Northern California. All these serial killers, guys, they really get off on getting attention from the media. Many years, Jeffrey Epstein sexually exploited and abused dozens of minor girls at his home. It was OJ work. All right. I think we should be good now, guys. Give me ones in the chat if you guys can hear me. Give me ones in the chat if you guys can hear me. Let me see here. I think we should be good now. You guys can't hear me? Oh, God damn it. All right. Test. Can you guys hear me now? All right, cool. All right. You guys got me? Sweet. All right. We are good to go. All right, I see the ones. Awesome. All right, we're back. All right, sorry about that, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome to Fed Reacts, man. We are in the house now. Sorry, guys, I didn't do this yesterday. I was not feeling good, guys. I came back from California. As you guys know, I was out there in LA. And, we were going ahead and working with Vitaly. Gave you guys a Fed React stream on us busting the Predators. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And then we had the other stream. So yeah, now I'm here. But yeah, I apologize, guys. I really felt like crap. I didn't sleep much in LA. I was super tired. But we're here now. We're gonna give you guys a three-peat. I'm gonna do Fed Reacts right now. Probably go for like hour and a half. And then we're going to go ahead and give you guys Fresh and Fit. Going to give you guys a Money Monday. And then we're going to go ahead and I think I'm going to hit the streets, guys, and ask some questions about the election. So we're going to switch it up a little bit. I think instead of Fresh and Fit news, we're going to hit the streets. So yeah, I had to go ahead and give you guys a video today. I felt bad for not doing a Fed Reacts yesterday. I was actually very mad at myself, but I was dead, man. I was really dead. But anyway, so let's get right into it, man. We're going to be covering the Young Thug case. Guys, for some of you guys that are unaware, I covered this case literally a couple years back, right when it happened, actually. Here it is. Here it is right here. Former Fed explains the YSL RICO, right? So this is actually one of my most viewed videos right here. And I go over it. I switched the title because now that he's free. But yeah, what you need to know, and I go over this in detail, guys. I go over the entire indictment in this case. As you guys know, this was a very big indictment back in the day when he originally got hit, May 9, 2022, right? And this was a RICO indictment, right? And the important thing that you guys need to know about this RICO indictment is that it was a state case, guys, a state case, okay? It was not a federal case. It was a state of Georgia that ran this RICO, which we're going to talk about that, why it was a big fucking L. Big L on Georgia's part. But yeah. So definitely a big L for them. But he's out now, which is good. I'm glad. You know what I mean? I don't pray on anyone's downfall. But back then, guys, it was really bad. I honestly thought, I was like, bro, this dude is cooked. But he's out now. So let's go ahead and see this news thing, and then we're going to react to a video as well.
Come on the air here with breaking news. In fact, instead of going to that break, out of Atlanta, rapper Young Thug is now pleading guilty.
And this was the news when it came out originally.
What has become Georgia's longest-running criminal trial. The plea just announced in Fulton County.
Longest-running criminal trial. This just so y'all know, this was a huge L for the state of Georgia. Incredibly embarrassing. I think that, there was a multitude of failures here, man. Between Fani Willis getting in trouble herself for some integrity issues with her other lawyer, judges having to recuse themselves, etc. This case was a fucking disaster for the state. Huge blunders all over the place. I'll tell you guys this right now, okay? If this was a federal RICO, Young Thug would have been cooked. But since this was a state-run RICO by the state of Georgia and an overzealous district attorney and Fani Willis, this was a big fucking L, man. And they ended up making themselves look dumb.
Stupid.
Hot fucking mess, man.
County Court just minutes ago. The rapper, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, was indicted in 2022 on racketeering charges. Prosecutors say the rapper led a street gang that committed murder, armed robbery, carjackings, and also dealt drugs. Nearly 30 other co-defendants were named in this case. Young Thug's trial has been plagued.
And this case, guys, was so heavily reliant upon music lyrics and testimony from other people. There was a lot of witnesses on this case, a lot. And that ended up making the case weaker because that's what drew it out so much, is they had to bring all these witnesses in to testify. And obviously, you know, you got a RICO case like this, you got rappers, etc. They don't want to testify, right? So it's very difficult sometimes to garner the witnesses required to make things happen, which, by the way, guys, just so y'all know, we're back on Instagram, Myron Gaines X on Instagram, also on X, and then also my Lil Durk video is back up. It was taken down for a few days, which is really fucking annoying. That thing should have been hundreds of thousands of views by now, but it's back up, guys, on Fed React. So if you guys want my actual breakdown of the Lil Durk federal case, the murder for hire, which I break down in detail with DJ Academics, it is live right now on the channel. Okay, guys, make sure to go check it out.
By problems, including 2 judges having to recuse themselves and mounting concerns last week that a mistrial could be ordered. Let's bring in ABC News legal contributor Shauna Lloyd now, who joins me with more. Shauna, talk to me first just about the state of play in this trial and remind me, frankly, of how long this has gone on. It is the longest running criminal trial in Georgia history. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct. And it's amazing that this has been going on for more than 6 months. We have been here following this trial. It is one of the longest trials that Georgia has had. That says a lot about the state of this trial and how many witnesses the state has been calling. So now that we see this plea deal, I'm not very surprised by it because I think both sides were trying to mitigate damages here.
And Shauna, very quickly, I do want to play for you images that just came into us. It is Young Thug taking that plea deal in court, and then I'll have you react on the back end. But here is what just played out in court just moments ago.
As to count 60, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, how do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 61, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, how do you plead?
Nolo.
And that's nolo contendere, which basically means he's not going to contest it. His lawyer took a gamble on that one, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. We'll play this through.
As to count 56, participation in criminal street gang activity under the leadership charge, how do you plead?
Nolo.
I think you didn't ask about count 62.
As to count, thank you, Your Honor. As to count 62, possession of a machine gun, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty to the offenses you have indicated because you are?
His defense attorney, Brian Steele, I think his name is Brian Steele if I'm not mistaken, but I know his last name is Steele. Dude did a fucking bang up job. He's gonna become one of the top hip hop attorneys from now on.
Are in fact guilty of these charges?
Yes.
And Shauna, something that I heard there, tell me if I'm wrong here, is to some charges he's pleading guilty.
Yeah, Alfred plea. Yeah, guys, that is what Gunna took. Gunna actually took an Alfred plea.
To some charges he's pleading nolo contendere, which means no contest. But also, very quickly, it looks like we've gotten here because there was an issue at trial last week where there was this witness who divulged sensitive information on the stand, and there were these concerns that there could be a mistrial, and essentially you'd have to start the clock all over again, and you'd have to have this long trial all over again. How did we get
Yeah, they don't want that.
here to this point where prosecutors and defense attorneys obviously wanted to deal?
I mean, what we're really seeing is that misstep could potentially have created a mistrial, and the judge looked like she may have been leaning towards granting that. So that leaves exposure on both sides. So that means the state has to determine to bring this trial again, and he would have
Which that would have been a pain in the ass. That's what they're currently doing in the Melly trial.
to stand again for another trial. So what you see here in this plea deal is both sides gave a little bit. He pleaded no contest to some of the charges. The direct charge.
And those are the charges that are some of the most serious. If you notice, the racketeering and the leadership stuff, he pleaded nolo contendere. He didn't want to contest.
Charges that were linked to him directly, such as the possession charge.
It's basically you're not saying you're guilty, but you're also not saying you're not guilty. Shout out to Jabriel says, Myron, did you vote already? Can you do a stream with Andrew Wilson tomorrow on the election? We'll see. I didn't vote yet. I'm going to probably vote tomorrow morning.
He did plead guilty to, and the state gave up the opportunity to get.
Joella said, Myron just applied to U.S. Marshals internship program. Is the process of becoming a deputy hard to get into, even military experience? Well, bro, I mean, look, take the job, see how you like it, get on. Just get on board. Just get on board. That's the number one thing. With any criminal investigator, 1811 position is going to be difficult.
A full conviction. They're getting a lot of probation here in this particular plea deal in order to get those those admissions of guilt. So both sides had to give a little bit, but in the face of a mistrial, when we're talking about the longest running trial in the history of Georgia, was really both sides trying to get what they wanted, their main objective out of this, and they each got a little bit.
And explain to me why this trial went so long. It was a RICO case. It was just simply the fact that there were so many defendants and there was so much evidence to go through, or were there other factors that made the trial drag out to this point?
So those were some of the initial factors. There were a lot of defendants. The state had a lot of witnesses, but we have to remember they had no direct evidence. So a lot of what they were using were lyrics and
they're relying way too much on witness testimony and music lyrics. That's an L.
Other things that were being used,
especially when people don't want to testify in a case like this that's gang affiliated,
by the YSL team in order to get this conviction. So in order to build that kind of case, you need a lot of background, and that's what we were seeing by having so many witnesses.
And on top of that, the other thing too, you guys got to understand, when you have a lot of witnesses like this in a gang case, a lot of these witnesses aren't credible because they're gang members and criminals themselves. So therefore, you need a lot of witnesses to like make one claim valid. Does that make sense? So it's not enough to have one credible witness when you're dealing with gang members. You need like 3 or 4 of them to corroborate one single fact. So that obviously eats up a lot of time, eats up a lot of days. You know, you're going 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then holidays, everything else like that, and then the hearings coming in here and there. So it's very troublesome to run a case like this, especially with the amount of defendants that they had in that indictment. This was, once again, Fani Willis biting off way more than she can chew, thinking that she can go ahead and go after the entire YSL. And just so you guys know, this bullshit RICO that she threw at Young Thug, this is almost identical to the Trump RICO, FYI.
Shauna Lloyd, Young Thug pleading guilty. That breaking news. Thank you as always.
Let's go ahead and look at the law on crime.
"57 participation in violation of
Hold on.
No law.
only a limited right to
This is the
any
courtroom
such
stuff.
victim and rock crew or congregating with friends and unloading."
Okay. So basically, long story short, guys, what ended up happening here was they put a deal in place, right, that would have Young Thug walking out, but Young Thug didn't like the deal. So he kind of decided, him and his lawyer decided to kind of gamble a bit and plead nolo contendere to some of the charges. You guys can see here some of the more serious racketeering charges. And they ended up getting lucky and getting sentenced to 15 years probation with time served. And he got out and he's free now, right? So lucky for him. Now, the trial is still going on as we speak, guys. I think there's still a couple of YSL members that are in trial right now. But as far as Young Thug goes, he is out, and I think he's probably back in LA by now. Let me see if we can find a sentencing here, just so you guys can kind of see it. Young Thug guilty plea. Let's see here. If you guys care to see it. Let's see. This is, yeah, so there's still, yeah, so this is court still going. Hold on, let me see if Young Thug, let's go sentencing. So he got off very lucky here. But there were a couple of things. Here we go.
All right, Mr. Williams, is there anything that you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges.
Yes, I know, guys, only coming out one speaker. I don't know what the hell Atlanta News First fucked this up.
I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, you know.
Goddamn, 11 kids. Nigga, what?
My managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just like, you know, having so much time invested into this, you know. And I am a smart guy. I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, you know. I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, you know, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad, and it don't really have to have nothing to do with you, but it could end bad and it could, you know, fall on you. And I know the choice is yours, it's up to you, and I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a, you know, bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. You know, I come from nothing and I've made something. And
Look at this nigga in the back just laughing at him like, oh.
I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved.
And when he says that, he's kind of telling the truth because, yo, they had 2 other judges, guys, in this case, right? So, look, let's go through this, right? So, the state of Georgia royally fucked this up, right? Fannie Willis, for some of you guys that don't know who this is, let me go ahead and just pull her up real quick. I'm going to give you guys a nice little summary of everything that went here, and then we're going to do some updates on the Diddy case and Durk and all that other shit. Then we'll close this thing out. But this woman right here, Fannie Willis, right? She, right here, this is her, right? She is the district attorney for the Fulton County, right? And when she originally indicted Young Thug, right, she made it a big press release. You know, it was a big deal, right? We're gonna go hard after crime, etc., right? And everyone's like, oh yeah, we got this ambitious, really aggressive attorney, blah, 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 right? And she made it like a whole spectacle that she went ahead and had this indictment. They indicted like a bunch of motherfuckers, man. Like, look at this shit. This is a whole, you know, it's like 20, 30 of these dudes, right? All parts of YSL, right? And what ended up happening was she bit off way more than she could chew, right? Because the DA guys, if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost certain it's an appointed position, right? It's a elected position, excuse me. So she wanted to go ahead and make a name for herself and be like, I'm gonna go after these guys, blah blah blah. Because I'll be honest with y'all, this was a weak fucking case. This was weak. This fucking RICO. It was all based on a murder that occurred back in like 2015 with this guy named Nut, right? They got paused. They got killed. And the case stemmed from there because the murder vehicle that was done to commit the crime was basically rented in Young Thug's name, right? And they built their entire case around this murder, right? The drug trafficking, the gun possession, all this shit, they built it around this murder from 2015, right? Between the YSL and the YFN, right? With Lucci, for all you guys that are wondering, like YFN Lucci and shit like that. That's why they had so many beefs. And they used song lyrics in this indictment. A lot of the evidence that they used, guys, were actually song lyrics. One of them, famously enough, I cite it all the time, was Young Thug with Juice WRLD, where he says, you know, I shoot at his house, now he no longer mentioned me, right? I shoot at his mommy's house, and now he no longer mentioned me, which actually occurred in the sequence of events. YFN Lucci's mother's house was actually shot at, and he mentioned this in a song. So they did have some actual evidence to go with the song lyrics, right, that they used, right? But the problem was the case in general was weak, and it relied way too much on witness testimony and song lyrics, right? And when you rely on witness testimony, that's when you run into problems, right? this was a very weak fucking RICO, right? So then you have issues with the judge, right? And I'll never forget this one. Young Thug lawyer goes to jail. And he was held in contempt, right?
You all are really getting yourselves cross purposes at this point in time. Sir, I'm telling you, you are at this point in time. You made some things out of nothing. I think that you're on very precarious ground at this point in time. So I'm telling you at this point in time, he's in custody. We're going to go ahead and start. You can represent Mr. Williams. That's okay. That's fine. I'll take up the other stuff as needed, but I'm not going to take it up right now. Say again? Respectfully, I will not. I cannot. Sir, you have.
So okay, I'll let this play, then I'll tell you kind of what happened.
Well, you're gonna have to do the best you can at this point in time, because you don't get to extort the court. That's what you're attempting to do at this point in time, sir. Yes, you are. What you're trying to do is, I'm not going forward if I don't get this. You know, it doesn't work that way, Mr. Adams. And I'm telling you at this point in time, I would just kind of govern yourself accordingly, sir. I'm telling you, as the court, under these particular circumstances, everything will come out as it should. I don't think, sir, I don't have enough information at this point in time to address it. I don't. But I'm telling you at this point in time, there is nothing that was given, said, whatever, this morning that.
If there is any accuracy to some of the information that we.
But sir, I don't even know.
So basically, guys, this argument stemmed. This situation stemmed from a private meeting that was done, which Young Thug's lawyers allege was illegal or problematic, right? Causing issues, right? Basically, it was like an ex parte meeting or some shit like that.
Your co-counsel won't even tell me who said whatever. Okay.
So he's mad. The judge wants to know how they came privy to that information, and they don't want to say.
Okay, and the challenge I'm having in this particular circumstance is that is such a violation of the sacrosanctness of the court's chambers and an ex parte conversation. You're just
there you go. So yeah, it was ex parte conversation, which they're talking about.
Glossing over that.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, ex parte means it's only with one party, which is obviously that's an issue. It's supposed to be with both.
Glossing over that in its entirety. No. It's not, sir. Sir. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Yeah, ex parte is a Latin phrase that means on one side only, or by or for one party. In legal terms, it has multiple meanings. So
that's not what happened. I'm just telling you, that's not what happened.
Judge, respectfully, we are not obligated to simply accept that there's been no violation. We believe that there has been, and the only.
Okay, well then No, we're not doing that at this point in time. So you'll have a choice to make. All right, take Mr. Steele into custody, please.
Wow. Fucking clown world, bro. Clown world. This was an L for the state of Georgia. At this point, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. When I saw this happen a couple months back, I was like, bro, yo, I literally thought, I was like, yo, if they convict Young Thug, he can literally get this appealed.
Your Honor, would the court afford me one moment to confer with.
They had ex parte meeting. The defense counsel calls it out. He says, how did you guys know about this ex parte meeting? And they didn't want to say. And that's why he's getting arrested for contempt of court, because he didn't want to say how he knew that they had this meeting.
Counsel regarding the appropriate remedy in this type of.
Okay, all right. Yes, sir, you certainly may. Mr. Williams does not wish to go forward without me being here. You are
Oh, shit.
removing me against his will, my will. You're taking away his right to counsel. And you're conducting material parts of this trial without me present, and I can't learn about it by watching online. So for that reason, additionally, I asked for a mistrial. And I assume you deny, but I'd like you to deny our motions for mistrial. You denied the other people. I've denied your motion, but I'll certainly take that under advisement, sir.
So we went back to jail with Thug. Yo, that's a G lawyer. I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy.
We're going to be in recess for the next 5 minutes.
Fucking L lawyer. I mean, sorry, L judge. L fucking judge. And bro, let me keep it 1,000 with you guys. Like, when they did that, like I was like, this is a wrap. Like that's when I knew that this shit was gonna fall. And here's the thing, bro. There was 2 judges that Young Thug lawyer. Hold on, CLR. Yeah, Young Thug's lawyer fiercely battles over lyrics used against him. Yep. And then this is the 3rd judge, right?
So I think you're going to see a much more efficient trial being run by this judge. I think what you're going to see.
Yeah, because the other 2 had to basically recuse themselves for fucking up, bro. Like that's a big L. How do you lose 2 judges in a big criminal case like this, a RICO with a A-list rapper? How does Georgia fuck this up? And this is what I'm trying to say when I say that this case, let me go back. Okay, so Fannie, recap, let's just recap all this, all right? So Fannie Willis indicts the entire YSL, right, for RICO, right? Overzealous attorney, wants to make a name for herself, wants to look cool, wants to go hard on violent crime, blah, 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 right? And she builds this entire investigation. I really want you guys to go back and watch the video I did because I break this down in fucking detail. If you guys want to know what Thug was actually charged from and what he escaped, I break this down in detail. I go through the indictment. We look at the song lyrics, whatever. But long story short, there was a murder that occurred back in like 2015 with a high-ranking gang member named Nut, right, or Peanut. He got killed. He was one of the ops for YSL. So they built this case on this, and they've been looking at YSL since if you look back at the indictment, since like 2012 or 2013 or some shit, right? And when he was murdered, the vehicle that was one of the murder vehicles was rented in Thug's name. So they built this whole thing around it. But it was a weak case because, like I said before, it relied heavily upon testimony from other individuals that aren't credible. And I'll just be honest with y'all. The state isn't as thorough as the feds are, right? They just aren't, okay? They simply aren't. Right? The state, a lot of the times, likes to charge cases and then hope that the guy pleads guilty and then they're going to be good to go. But the reality is, when you're going to go ahead and go after like a rapper like this that has resources and money, etc., you better come correct. Because as you guys can see, he went to trial. A lot of people would have pled this out and not dealt with the potential of getting football numbers, but Thug actually went ahead and took this thing to trial and made the state of Georgia fight him in court. And I'm going to be very blunt about this. Young Thug didn't win this case. The state lost it. One more time for y'all, okay? Thug didn't win this case. The state simply fucking lost it. Between stupid judges, incompetent prosecutors, them not knowing what they're doing, shitty investigations, lazy police work, lazy prosecutors, they went ahead and they rushed this thing to the finish line thinking that these guys weren't going to go to trial and they'd be able to get a fucking slam dunk, and they lost. It was a big fucking L. State of Georgia. And this guys, this goes to show you guys, like, and I've said this before on this show, guys, the state, a lot of the times, it's a fucking kangaroo court. It's a kangaroo court, right? Like, they're in here, like, don't have their T's crossed, I's dotted, etc. You're trying to go ahead and prosecute a multimillionaire that can actually hire real counsel to fight this shit. Like, this is like the feds, this never happens at the federal level, ever. If we come after you for fucking RICO, you're cooked. Look at every single person that you guys have seen, all these hip-hop artists that get indicted for RICOs, they go down. R. Kelly, Tekashi 6ix9ine, he had to cooperate to get out of his situation, but everyone else got football numbers. Casanova, like, when the feds, Diddy, right? Diddy right now, he's gonna end up probably having to plead guilty. Durk, right now, for murder for hire.
Like, if the feds come, it's a fucking wrap, bro. But the state, they always fail. And then on top of this, let's be honest, Fani Willis is an idiot. She's incompetent. Okay? She's over here fucking her, subordinates and shit like that. She just wants to make a name for herself, but she don't really, like, the thing is this. They want to get the indictment, hit the headlines, but they don't really care if, they actually get it across the finish line and get the plea deal, right? Or get the conviction. Because, they're looking at it like, all right, if we do the mistrial, we're going to have to do this all again. So let's go ahead and get a couple of convictions, a couple of pleas, let them go on those, and then it is what it is, right? Keep in mind, they still got a conviction. They still a W for the state, but this looks really bad from an optic standpoint, right? He still pled guilty to, possession of a machine gun. He pled guilty to drug trafficking, I think for codeine, and some other bullshit stuff, but he didn't actually plead guilty to the racketeering stuff, and he ended up getting 15 years probation. So this is a big W for Thug, big L for the state of Georgia. Basically both parties were able to kind of get what they wanted, but I think Thug absolutely, the state dropped the ball on this. The state absolutely dropped the ball. Yes, they got their convictions, but it was not what they intended. They were trying to go for, they try to give him 45 years. They try to give him 25 where he served in jail and then another 25 where he's out. And his attorney, good. He called the bluff. He said, "No, fuck it. We're not gonna take that deal. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plead nolo contendere, right, to some of the more serious charges." And the judge ended up giving him 15 years probation, and he went home. So big W on him, big L for the state. Between the judges fucking up, prosecutors fucking up, Fani Willis and her situation, and just so you guys know, this is probably gonna inspire. Or this is going to probably push the state of Georgia to strike plea deals with Giuliani and with Trump and everybody else that got indicted. Because Fani Willis basically took this YSL indictment and tried to attribute it to Trump and his old team for the election interference stuff that they charged him for earlier this year. So I predict that this L is going to prompt the Attorney General's office, the Attorney General's office, State Attorney General's office, to go ahead and try to get some plea deals going, get this thing handled on the side, because they couldn't even put Thug away. So you're going after people. Some of these people are lawyers. Some of these people have access to actual defense counsel. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. But I definitely predict that this is going to impact the Trump case too, because the Trump case was a very similar RICO. Let's see here. But give me ones in the chat, guys, if that makes sense. Give me ones in the chat if that explanation makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not really too much. I covered this in way more detail. I really encourage you guys to go ahead and watch it, because I honestly do think I have the best breakdown on this case.
Is it just that proved?
Because I play song lyrics and everything. We go through the indictment. We go through each fucking count. So make sure to go check it out, guys. It's long. It's 3 hours, but timestamps are there and everything. Okay, now let's talk about the feds. Thank you. Someone in the chat brought this up. So, look, there's a reason the feds didn't take this case originally, right? I'll keep it 1,000 with y'all. Anytime you see the state do a RICO case, that's a big red flag, okay? If you guys ever see the state do a RICO case, it's a big fucking red flag, because that tells me 9 out of 10 times the case is weak, because RICOs are a federal statute first. They started federal. Then the state started adopting it after the fact, after they saw the feds being really successful getting rid of La Cosa Nostra and everything else like that with the RICO statutes. So if you guys see the state come and push a RICO on some type of criminal organization, it's an L. All right? That's number one. Number two, what I predict is, right, that the feds are going to definitely watch Young Thug and see what he's doing, right? This is absolutely going to, create some federal attention. But are they going to come in and try to take up some of these charges from the state? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. I'd be shocked if they did. It's possible, right? Is it probable? I don't know.
The fact that they didn't take any of those charges before kind of is a red flag. And anytime I see a state RICO, it's a red flag. It's a red flag that it's going to be more than likely a weak case. Because if you guys notice, anytime I've ever seen a state RICO case, they're always weak, bro. Look at Bobby Shmurda. Well, he only got like 7 years or some shit. Like, they're not doing the crazy time like when they go to the feds. Guys, Casanova is doing like 20. Everybody from the 6ix9ine shit is doing like 20. All the higher ups are doing like 20. So, it's a big red flag when I see the state go ahead and pursue a RICO case. That tells me off rip the feds didn't want it. And if the feds didn't want it, that means it was weak from a federal standpoint because the feds don't lose. So that already gives me all kinds of red flags. So also, guys, like I said before, give you guys a quick little reminder. The Lil Durk video is back up, right? I apologize that it fucking got taken down. It got hit because I played the portions from Aha, the music video, and bro, they hit me with like a copyright fucking claim for it. And I was like, bro, I didn't even play the fucking music. So it's up.
Knew that Durk
Go check it out. I had a whole conversation with academics about this. We went in detail. It's 5 hours long. So I definitely think I got the best breakdown on. Nah, I do. What the fuck am I talking about? Let me stop. I got the best breakdown on this shit because I've actually done a murder for hire case before. And I know exactly how the FBI works because they work almost identical to HSI, right? So I went ahead and I went through I read the criminal complaint. I went through everything on here, right? I read the indictment, the criminal complaints. I explained what murder for hire is, how it works, etc. All that. So go check it out, guys. Definitely, I'm pissed off because they took it down. This shit should have been well over 100,000 views. But they fucking, well, number one, you guys already know I'm Shadow Man. And then number two, they took it down for a couple of days. So that fucked it up. So yeah, go check it out, guys. We covered the YSL thing. Give me what's in the chat that makes all sense to you guys. I explained a lot there. Myron, can we get a Myron version vlog channel? Probably not, bro. Probably not. I like my my me time, bro, where I go to the gym and shit and do what I'm doing. That's why I don't record myself in the gym a lot of times. Give me ones if that all makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Awesome. All right. Cool. Okay, very educational. Awesome. So yeah, guys, Young Thug's free. We went over why. Basically, Young Thug didn't win the case. The state just fucking lost it. That's really what it comes down to. So what I kind of want to show you guys was Law and Crime put out this stuff with Diddy. So I figured let's watch it. Let's do an update on this. Hold on. Mysterious leak of P. Diddy's brutal hotel attack. Let's see here.
All the allegations made against him. However, the now disgraced mogul was met with so much backlash, it prompted him to issue an apology. However, he didn't mention Cassie by name.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was up.
Yo, that was, bro. You know what the crazy part is of this, guys? Diddy probably doesn't remember half the shit that happened to him because he was always on drugs and drinking.
I mean, I hit rock bottom. I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
That he was only compelled to apologize once his repeated denials were proven false shows his pathetic desperation, and no one will be swayed by his disingenuous words, end quote. But the mystery surrounding who leaked the tape remains, even months after Combs was arrested.
So here's my prediction on this with the tape and everything else like that, guys. I predict that Cassie had the tape the whole time, and she told him, yo, if you don't settle, I'm going to release this tape, and that's what made him settle. I think it was her team that had the tape, and then they leaked it after the fact anyway, just because.
And charged with sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution, all of which he pleaded not guilty to. In recent court filings made by the prosecution, the government insists they weren't the ones who leaked the footage. According to the court documents filed on Wednesday, federal prosecutors wrote, quote, "The defendant argues baselessly that the video depicting the defendant's assault of a victim at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles on March 5, 2016 was provided to a media outlet by government agents. Without any factual basis, the leak motion seeks to suppress highly probative evidence, a video of Combs brutally physically assaulting a victim in March 2016 that was published by a media outlet in May 2024 by claiming that it was grand jury material leaked by government agents to CNN. But as the defendant is fully aware, the video was not in the government's possession at the time of CNN's publication.
Oh, shit.
And the government has never at any point obtained the video through grand jury process. According to the filing, the government didn't obtain the video until the...
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with y'all, bro. If you're doing a criminal case, leaking a video like that will only hurt you, actually. So, I'm under the impression it's going to be more a private citizen or somebody from Cassie's camp that could get a big payday leaking that shit than the government.
Entire world saw it on CNN, which was May 17, 2024. And prosecutors say prior to that date, the government had been unsuccessful in obtaining...
Yeah, you guys in the chat asking, yeah, guys, we are live. We are fucking live right now. Welcome to the Fed Reacts Monday night show because I was fucking feeling sick yesterday, so we're here, man.
Any video of the assault. But for the defense...
Someone said, before you leave the Young Thug topic, discuss his newest tweet. Does that affect anything? I'll take a look real quick.
They've previously argued the leaks interfere with Diddy being able to get a fair trial. However, prosecutors urged the judge to reject Combs' request for an evidentiary hearing, saying it's nothing more than an attempt to toss out a damning piece of evidence against him. So is it possible federal agents may have leaked the assault video? According to the U.S. Attorney's response, that defense argument was also baseless, as prosecutors say the agents who have no authority to issue grand jury process, and they didn't secretly obtain the video.
Wham, let's drop one of these rats, Peter. I don't know what the fuck that means.
The government cited several media articles who didn't have clear sources about the potential leak. According to the filing, it said, quote, "Where the sourcing is less clear, courts are reluctant to draw the conclusion that the defendant leaps to here, that anonymous sources close to or familiar with an investigation must be the personnel conducting the investigation. None of the news articles or the letter indicates that a government attorney or agent was the source of the information, and at least one explicitly states that the U.S. Attorney's Office and FBI representatives declines to comment. Even information in the cited articles sourced
wasn't even FBI that did this case.
Generally to law enforcement cannot meaningfully be linked to the prosecution team here. Prosecutors also called out Diddy's defense team and accused them of trying to hijack the mogul's criminal case from them by asking a judge to force his anonymous accusers to release their identity. The prosecution urged the judge to reject the request, saying the effort to reveal the names of potential witnesses is blatantly improper.
The ongoing legal saga of Sean Diddy Combs doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. And part of the reason we're able to keep bringing you this story, plus so much more, is because of our great sponsors like Upside. So I want to take this time to thank Upside. As usual,
Combs' defense team also asked for a gag order to stop his accusers' lawyers from commenting publicly. But federal prosecutors have slammed that idea. In their filing, prosecutors wrote in part, quote, "It is plain what the demand for a bill of particulars really is, a thinly veiled attempt to restrict the government's proof at this early stage of the case and to hijack the criminal proceeding so the defendant can respond to civil lawsuits. This demand should be squarely rejected, especially in light of the risk it poses to the witness safety." The judge overseeing Diddy's sex trafficking trial denied imposing a gag order this week. Instead, he wrote both sides are expected to abide by existing laws prohibiting...
And today's Diddy's birthday, actually, too.
Lawyers, investigators, and government agents from revealing grand jury proceedings and relating non-public information that might interfere with the fair trial. Since Combs' arrest, he's faced a tsunami of civil lawsuits by several women and men alleging they were sexually assaulted by Combs, and the allegations span back nearly 30 years. But Combs' defense team has asked the accusers and their lawyers not to make public statements, saying they've already made numerous inflammatory extrajudicial statements aimed at assassinating Mr. Combs' character in the press. And more than a dozen lawsuits filed in Manhattan federal court have been assigned to different judges, meaning potential different rulings on whether allegations were sufficiently made. Just this week, a judge ruled a Tennessee woman who went by Jane Doe, who alleges the mogul raped her in 2004 when she was just 19 years old, must continue her case without anonymity, or the suit will be dropped altogether. The judge...
God damn, they're coming after him.
Wrote the defendants have a right to investigate those who sue them, and the public has a right to know who uses the courts. Now, as a cloud of mystery continues to surround who is the potential real source of the leaks of the case, it's possible we may never know. But it's likely that tape and even the subsequent apology video made by Combs will be key pieces of evidence in the Bad Boy Records founder's upcoming trial. Now let's bring on criminal defense attorney Safa Robinson to get her take on this ongoing mystery surrounding who leaked the video. Now, Safa, it's great to see you. As I mentioned, it truly is a mystery because at this point, we don't know who leaked that assault video. The prosecution denies it. Obviously, Diddy's team says it wasn't them. But what are your thoughts?
You know, that is definitely a mystery and something up in the air that we may find the answer to, but we may not. You know, a part of what the defense is essentially trying to do here is say, hey, judge, you know, we understand that there was an order preventing disclosure of discovery outside of the transaction between the attorneys. And so what they're alleging is that the prosecution has disclosed this information to gain coverage media-wise from different networks, put it out there in the public so that individuals who may potentially sit on this jury would have already.
No, don't worry, guys. We're gonna give y'all a Money Monday. It's gonna be probably around 6:30 or so. I think we're gonna give you guys a Money Monday. Then I think I'm gonna hit the streets and ask some questions to some people about the election.
Seen it essentially to taint the jury. And that's one of the things that we want to be careful of as we prepare or have eyes on trial. And what the defense is saying here is that the prosecution has somehow disclosed this video even prior to the arrest, and essentially in an attempt to taint any potential jurors.
And that video was just horrific to watch. It was so brutal, and it felt like you had just mentioned, everyone in the world had seen that video. But it was also kind of a turning point in the case overall, because up until then, even though with the raids that had happened months before the video was released, Sean Diddy Combs' team was deny. That was kind of their method until that video came out, even prompting him to give an apology, even though he denied the allegations made against him in Cassie's civil suit, which of course we know was settled the next day. But what are your thoughts on just how that video came to light and just kind of a turning point it really made in the case of people kind of believing Diddy's alleged victims?
Absolutely. That video set the catalyst for where we are today. That video was also the catalyst for a number of other individuals to begin to come forward with allegations of abuse and violence at the hands of Mr. Combs. You know, this video was disclosed, I think, a few months before he essentially was taken into custody. There is a good possibility that the government already had this video in their hands, which is also why the defense may be alleging that they were the ones to release it, especially if with this video, Mr. Combs allegedly paid to have this video in his possession and destroyed by other means. So there's a question as to who ultimately had the video and how that video got disclosed. But that video certainly set the catalyst for where we are today, in part. Not only that, but it showed the abuse allegations. And one of the things the government is essentially going to want to do here is say that Mr. Combs was violent in nature, that he engaged in this sexual activity, or also required individuals to participate in sexual activity against their will. And essentially, this video may be a key piece of evidence that will ultimately show their theory in this case.
And I wanted to get your opinion on, do you think it's at all possible that potentially maybe a federal agent just leaked this video? I mean,
all right. Well, let's see here.
The government denies it was even in their possession when CNN released it. Obviously, Diddy's team has denied that they released it. But what are your thoughts on the potential that maybe a federal agent did this?
You know, anything is possible. And, you know, I've seen in my experience, unfortunately, when things of this nature get in the hands of law enforcement, unfortunately, sometimes it is inadvertently shown or disclosed to individuals, whether that be one agent to another agent or someone that may work in their office. People don't always act with the highest form of ethics. And so even showing family members or friends, this is a high profile case with two high profile individuals in that video. So it's very much sexy to the public to see something like this. And I hate to use that term because in no way are we, you know, making light of that, but just to show the point that this is something that people are going to want to see. People are going to want to know about. These are two individuals, Mr. Combs, we've known since the 90s, who has been a hip hop mogul, and Miss Ventura, who's a model, an actress, and a singer. These are two individuals that, you know, as Americans, we've seen in the music industry, we've grown to know, grown to learn about, and have enjoyed watching. And so that's the reason why something of this nature may ultimately be attractive to the public.
And given that so many of the public did see that video, I want to go back to another point you made earlier. Do you think that Diddy can get a fair trial after everyone has seen just this video alone?
That's going to be pretty tough, you know.
That is going to be hard for him to get yeah, he'll be able to argue he can get a fair trial.
There's an allegation of abuse, and here we have it. The video is as clear as day. Not only that, but we have Mr. Combs who follows up via social media with that video saying he apologizes, that he wasn't in the best frame of mind at that point in time, and that essentially there was no excuse for his behavior, essentially owning up to that video. So I think that this video certainly does damage his reputation. When there are going to be individuals that come in to sit as a juror or in the potential jury pool for this trial, they're going to be questioned on whether or not they've seen this video.
Yeah, they definitely will be. The other thing also, so they said.
Please describe the condition.
So he celebrated birthday behind bars. P. Diddy jail sweep uncovers weapons, drugs. Let's see what the hell this guy is.
So it is the might be a target for certain things. Disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is turning 55 today behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. But just how lavish will the birthday celebrations be this year? And it's being reported that a recent sweep of that detention center has uncovered shocking contraband, further highlighting the ongoing issues with this facility. So just how severe are the conditions behind the walls of this jail? Well, I'm going to talk with a former federal warden to find out. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, Sean Diddy Combs is spending his 55th birthday today behind bars. Now, of course, the party
Look at this guy.
is going to look a little bit different this.
Frank, say what's up to the people. They haven't seen you in a bit. Well, say what's up, Frank. He's getting a little hairy, guys. I have him growing his hair out a little bit. Oh, yeah, I love you too. Oh, yeah, you're gonna. All right, buddy.
This year, since we know he's currently locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution charges, there will be no lavish celebrations for the disgraced rapper this year. But according to the New York Post, he does apparently get a special birthday meal planned while in jail. Breakfast reportedly includes biscuits and gravy, oven brown potatoes, bread and oatmeal. Lunch includes cheese pizza, Italian pasta, green beans, and for dinner he can have chicken or tofu fried rice with black beans and carrots. Now, aside from the food, putting that to the side, where he is being housed has become a separate issue. Why? I'll tell you why. But first, here's the question. Why is he there? Well, that is because the rapper has been denied bail several times and has been ordered to stay in this facility while awaiting his trial, which is currently scheduled for May of next year. And part of the reason he wants out so badly is because of the conditions within this facility. You see, P. Diddy's attorneys, they have long expressed concerns about...
Frank, paw. Show you guys a new trick that he learned. Frank, oh, paw. Paw. There you go. Knows how to shake hands now.
The conditions within the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. It's also known as the MDC. And we've even covered investigations into the MDC in a previous episode of Sidebar. But now, a recent sweep of the facility has uncovered a troubling list of findings. Investigators apparently seized drugs, homemade weapons, electronic devices during an interagency operation to clean up this facility. This is according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Now, to be clear, although it's being reported that no criminal charges have been filed, maybe I should say as of yet, as a result of all of this material that was found, as a result of this widespread search, it is alarming that there is this amount of contraband. And investigators, they confiscated this contraband during this multi-agency sweep last week that involved the Bureau of Prisons, the Department of Justice's Inspector General's office, and other law enforcement agencies. Although there is a history of horrors lingering within the walls of this facility, the agency said this operation was part of a safety and security initiative, that this was pre-planned, that it was not in response to any particular threat or intelligence, and also it wasn't connected to Sean Combs in any way. Although, you have to say, because he's being housed there, of course, there's a lot of eyeballs on this place. In a statement to CBS News, the Federal Bureau of Prisons said the operation was, quote, designed to achieve our shared goal of maintaining a safe environment for both our employees and the incarcerated individuals housed at MDC Brooklyn. By the way, what do I talk about all the time on Sidebar? I talk about the law, right? Law and crime sidebar, not a shocker there. But I talk about legal rulings. I talk about legal decisions. And right now, I got a landmark one for you. It has just changed things in a very big way. Why? Because you can now legally trade on who will win the 2024 election. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Which I think we're going to have a video tonight, guys, on that. We're going to talk about the, we're going to definitely talk about that. So, okay, let's see what's new with Durk. So we know what's new with Lil Durk. Let's see law and crime, what they see. Okay, boom. Lil Durk's fuel Quan Rondo explode. Yep, we know that. Johnny Depp, nope. Drake's lawyer speaks on Lil Durk's murder plot arrest. Appears in court. Lil Durk denied bond in court. Let's see here. Yeah, I already gave the best explanation on this. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I definitely... Let's go ahead. It's 13 shocking Lil Durk allegations in murder for hire investigation. We covered all this stuff already. We already know the Rondo Quando shit. So, chat, what do y'all want to see? Let me see. I want to see what you guys got to see. And then we got Neil Timepiece Trading coming in about 30 minutes. We're going to do that stream. So I'll stay on for like another 10 or 15 minutes. But I wanted to get you guys a Fed Reacts, man, before for the week. Actually, you guys got 2 episodes because keep in mind, I did I also did what's it called? Catching Predators, which you guys could go check that out. That was hilarious. We went ahead and got the a dude, this illegal alien actually. So, Peanut the squirrel? Oh, yo, that Peanut thing, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. That's actually ridiculous that they went ahead and they had all those people show up for a fucking, yeah. Let me see here. See if I can find it. I don't want to use TMZ.
Ross, I was actually, I've got to say, quite shocked when I saw that this story had taken.
Australia, who gives a fuck what Australia thinks? Let's see here. I'll play the news thing.
We have an update on a story that we told you about earlier, a squirrel that was seized in western New York early this week. On Eyewitness News this morning, we told you about Peanut, who has pretty big global following on social media. Well, we just learned it was euthanized after biting someone. It's now being tested for rabies. His owner, Mark Longo, says officers raided his home, taking Peanut and other animals. Longo runs a sanctuary in western New York, housing horses, goats, and other animals. But it's against New York state law to own a wild animal without a license. And after receiving several complaints and fearing the unsafe housing of wildlife that could carry rabies, agents stepped in, took the squirrel, and have euthanized it.
Yo, look, this is why the state of New York is a failed state, man. The fact that they went ahead and had this show of force, they had a judge sign off on an affidavit for them to get a search warrant and go into the house to fucking take a squirrel and a raccoon is absolutely wild to me. Like, they don't have other shit that they could worry about. You know, upstate New York, I guess they're bored. They don't have anything else going on over there. Frank, what are you doing? Sit. Stay. Good boy. So, that was an overreach of the law, absolutely unnecessary level of force, unnecessary to seize the animals and then euthanize them. The person that went ahead and snitched on them for that is absolutely a scumbag, like absolutely crazy to me, dude, that they went ahead and killed this squirrel. But I mean, you know, he bit somebody apparently, so that's what gave them the ability to go in there and do what they had to do. You know, and I know some people are making fun of the guy. Oh, the guy's on OnlyFans. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Look, man, we're not talking about the owner here. We're talking about the killing of a animal, you know, for really no reason, you know, because some idiot went ahead and got bitten. So, yeah, man, I that whole Peanut situation, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. The fact that all these dudes showed up to seize a squirrel, like, waste of taxpayer dollars, waste of time, waste of a judge's time, waste of law enforcement resources. They must be bored up there in New York. That's all I got to say. They must be fucking bored. The state of New York is a failure. Absolute fucking failure, man. Holy shit. You know, every time I go visit New York, I'm like, man, this place sucks. Scum city, man. Scum state, scum city. Fucking embarrassing.
That's Peanut the squirrel eating a waffle with his rescuer-turned-owner Mark Longo, who launched the critter to social media fame over the past 7 years. But now the squirrel and Longo are getting even more attention.
Peanut was the best thing that ever happened to us.
The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation seized the pet and Longo's pet raccoon Fred on Wednesday. It said, quote, following multiple reports from the public about the potentially unsafe housing of wildlife that could carry rabies and the illegal keeping of wildlife as pets. DEC conducted an investigation. Then on Friday afternoon, it confirmed in a joint statement with the Chemung County Health Department that, quote, a person involved in the investigation was bitten by the squirrel. To test for rabies, both animals were...
Yeah, that person snitched right there. That's what gave them the probable cause to go in the house, guys. Because in my head, I was thinking, like, how'd they get a search warrant for that? That's why.
Euthanized. We spoke with Longo earlier Friday.
Or how'd they get a court order to do it? And apparently this dude's wife is Russian. The cops were asking her all kinds of questions about her alienage, which that also makes me say, what the hell?
About the seizure of his home and farm in Pine City, which he says lasted 5 hours.
You need that many officers to show up to my house to literally pull my closets apart.
The only way to legally be able to rescue wild animals like squirrels is to become a licensed wildlife rehabilitator, a process that could take months.
We were ready to comply. We were ready to get the paperwork. We were in the process of doing that. We needed a little bit of guidance from the DEC.
Longo plans to take legal action after what he considered excessive force from Wednesday's raid. Christy Kalish.
And honestly, guys, he could probably come after them for financial things, because from what I understand, this squirrel built a huge following, and this guy, he has like an OF. Somebody let me know that he has an OF. Like, he's gonna lose money on his shit now, like, because the squirrel like helped him make money. Like the squirrel has like a huge social media following, right? So, yeah, man, he could probably come after them for hurting him financially too, because he's gonna lose some money off of this. Like, now obviously he has a huge surge, like Elon Musk is retweeting him and shit like that. But after that's all done, guys, he's gonna lose some serious money from this. So, yeah, bro, they killed an innocent squirrel because somebody got bit, complained to the cops. That's what happened. Fucking sad, man. Really sad. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Fed Reacts, man. I know it was a short one, short and sweet. Went for a little over an hour here, but I had to give you guys something because obviously I was sick yesterday, so I wanted to kind of give you guys an update on the Young Thug situation. We're going to go ahead and have a Money Monday for you guys with Timepiece Neil, with Timepiece Trading with Neil. And then I'm probably going to hit the streets for an IRL stream, and we're going to talk the election 2024. We're going to talk about Kamala versus Trump, talk to some people, see what they got to say. And I think it'll be a good conversation, have some debates, talk about the 19th Amendment, which you guys know where I stand on that one. Myron, thoughts on the Orlando shooting? Crazy. I could probably cover that one on the next Fed Reacts this coming week. I can probably cover that one. Thank you for reminding me on that one. Crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. 17-year-old going nuts. So, yeah, let me make sure I got all the chats. Don't leave any of you guys. Okay, Leon Phelps says, shout out to all you do. Quick question, in my opinion, why do you think there was a discrepancy with whether or not there will be bullet shards in Megan Thee Stallion's foot, even though the official police report only talked about how the last race from the glass? I seen your coverage of this case live and went back a couple days ago because of Dumb Bimbo. Meg's new documentary didn't watch, but was going back and forth over dumbass and still defending that chick. A little off topic. Yeah, bro. Look. The Meg Thee Stallion situation, I don't think Tory shot her. I genuinely believe that it was her friend that shot her. It just doesn't make sense why Tory would be the one to shoot her when he was trying to break up the fight between her and her friend. So, and then the fact that the friend took the Fifth Amendment on the stand, the right to stay silent, when they asked her about who shot her, and then they had to give her an immunity deal for her to continue the testimony, tells you everything that you need to know. So, yeah, I genuinely think that Meg's friend shot her, not Tory. But Tory couldn't take the stand to defend himself because obviously taking a stand and saying that she shot her and not me would have been a death blow to his career. So that's kind of what it is. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go take Frank for a walk, and then a quick walk, and then we're going to go ahead and give you guys Fresh Fit in about 20 minutes. Money Monday with Timepiece Trading with Neil, and then we're going to go ahead and hit the streets and cover the election, see what people are voting for, etc. I think it'll be a good time, so we'll see what happens. But love you guys. Timestamps are coming soon. Hope you guys are a little bit more educated on the Young Thug situation. Guys, follow me on Instagram and on X. I'm live there now on both accounts. Myron Gaines X on both. And yeah, love you ninjas. I'll be back. Fresh and Fit in about 20 minutes. Peace.